bereaved through suicide. My brother died when he was 16 and he took his life. And also I support my son, who's also a teenager, a young man, who has struggled with suicide ideation and attempts since he was about 8 years old, so that's been a decade's journey. It's been almost a lifetime, so it's been almost 3 decades since my brother died. But I think there are two-pronged challenges. Firstly, being able to feel safe about speaking about it. So there was a lot of stigma and a lot of trauma around not being able to talk about it and people feeling uncomfortable and reaching out to people who didn't know how to help us out. And also systemic responses, so workplace, not knowing how to manage, both in relation to recent and previous experiences. So double pronged there, so a lot of stigma and trauma. We're in a great time at the moment because I get a sense we can talk about it, and it is so healing. So my message to people would be, find your people. Find the people that are going to help you heal. It's more than just talking about it, it's about moving on and transcending the trauma and the stigma surrounded by suicide. So you won't always find them first time. So keep searching, find your people, and there are enormous resources available to us now that weren't there, say, 3 decades ago. Find your people. My experiences have been about connection and disconnection. Primarily disconnection for the first, say, 3 decades, but a lot more connection now because it seems to be more appropriate and allowed that you can speak about it. But the connecting point, the most healing point, has been the ability to seek like-minded and like-experienced people, so lived experienced people, and use their shoulders to walk with them along the journey of grief and healing. Now that's a really interesting question, but for me, my spirituality, which is kind of linked to my cultural upbringing, but a sense of spirituality was really significant and I think has held me along the way for the last 3 decades or so. And also finding the right people, my people, wonderful friends who just sat with me when I needed to and let me work through the processes of PTSD and depression and anxiety that I was confronted with along the way. So I think that's what gave me hope when I look back, and particularly now, the amount of resources and the renewed emphasis on being able to talk about it is absolutely hopeful. I think don't panic, and I've learnt that myself, and it's really hard to sit with someone. As much as we say sit with them and listen to them, I appreciate, because even though I was lived experience when my son was reaching out to me, I found it incredibly, and still find it incredibly difficult. So know your limitations, but at all costs just be with them and let them be. It is extremely difficult from my experience. I'm being really upfront. Not all times do they seek solutions. They just people want to be listened to. But asking, being with, being gentle, being open-minded, but also aware of your own personal limitations and your own self-care. So self-care is something that I've learnt most recently as being absolutely vital in this arena.